My name is Seira Kitagawa, and I'm a student here at the University of Oregon. I grew up in Tokyo, Japan. I lived there for 16 years. But when I was 16, I moved to Salem, Oregon, and now I'm here in Eugene, Oregon. I was an international student in high school, so I spent 2 years with my host family there, and they became my second family. I plan on visiting them for holidays. I was planning on going back to Japan for college, but then when I came down to Eugene for campus tour, one thing I noticed studying in US was I feel like there's so much opportunities to learn from and from different perspectives. So I wanted to keep my education going in US. This is my 5th year in Oregon, which Oregon is becoming my second home, one of the homes for me. So yes, I do feel the sense of belonging. Oregon is a big part of my life now. I'm 20 years old.
So you've been here 4 years?
Yes, 4 years.
So 20% of your life?
Yes. I think for the last 5 years, or four and a half years, I've been going back and forth, Japan, America, Tokyo, mostly Tokyo, Oregon, because Tokyo is home for me in Japan. When I go back to Japan, first I thought, oh, now I get to see my family, see my friends, eat Japanese food. Those things were true, and I really love those parts every time I go back. But also, I started noticing that some kind of change within myself, my perspective may have changed, the way I see things or the way I speak sometimes even shifted from long time speaking English to shifting back to speaking Japanese. There were times, especially on the airplane, I have this where is home for me crisis sometimes. But now I think I kind of grew up negative thoughts to more positive, that now I say I'm going back to Japan, I'm going back to Oregon. I call both homes, so now I say I go back whichever way. I started studying journalism mainly from my sophomore year, so last year. And how I got into journalism was I found my passion within myself of storytelling. And when I think about storytelling, I was thinking back of Japan, my culture, my traditions, and my family traditions. And I was trying to think if there's any stories that I can find or I can spotlight from my home country. And then I knew that I would be back in Japan for the summer. So summer is a time that I have a lot of memories growing up, and especially summer festivals. My grandfather, he was really involved with summer festivals. He will lead some group, kids. We call it mikoshi, and we carry around town, say washoy, washoy, sing, and it's a really fun activity to do growing up. So I wanted to originally focus on Japanese summer festivals and see and experience that, or re-experience that again, and then see how that connects to modern culture or younger generations like me. When I shared that project, my mother reached out to me that, so I'm wondering if you're interested in visiting your grandparents' hometown in Oita. In Oita, we can go back to the map, which is southern part of Japan called Kyushu, and Nagasu is a specific area that my grandfather grew up. Leads to a story of soy sauce factory that my grandfather's family been having for 300 years or so, which is quite a long time. My grandfather, his name is Isao Yotsuya. Yotsuya is a family name, also the name of the soy sauce. It's Yotsuya Shoyu. Shoyu means soy sauce, so Yotsuya soy sauce. A really good chunk of time in my childhood. And my grandfather has several brothers, and Two of them live in the Nagasu area where the soy sauce factory is. But the one who takes care of the business now is Masaru. He also operates udon restaurants nearby. And of course, it uses the soy sauce. Oita has a lot of mountains. Actually, it reminded me of Oregon when I visited Oita. So soy sauce is, you may have, I think most of the people in America may have heard of soy sauce because it usually comes with sushi. But soy sauce can be used for more things than sushi in Japan. Actually, most of the Japanese food use soy sauce. It can be used to like saute something, it can be used for udon soup or different kinds of soup, like a little magic sauce in a way in Japanese culture. Yeah, and that the soy sauce, the Yotsuya shoyu, is the soy sauce that I grew up with. Masao family, they always send the bottles. The bottle is like this, but it's a pretty big soy sauce. If you get one, you'll be using it for like a couple months or maybe a year. So my family, or my mom, you use that for cooking, and so it's a special soy sauce for me. You're looking at the picture of like shrines. There is a Usajingu. It's a pretty big, like well-established shrine that's been there for a long time, and that was my first time that I visited. But I know that my grandparents will visit there often growing up, or as adults too when they visit their hometown. And how I personally felt was, because that was my first visit, and even though I knew that my grandparents visited, I felt more like a tourist or more like outsider, because it is a tourist spot, and I feel like I'm one of the tourists, but also knowing that there's family connection. So it was like interesting feeling to be there. But after visiting my grandfather's hometown, I brought soy sauce with me to Oregon. So I did use that soy sauce for cooking, and I actually do have a plan in December to go visit New York City for one of the journalism program that we have. My hope is to go to Statue of Liberty to take a photo with the soy sauce. And the reason why is because my grandfather, when he visited New York City when I was like 4 years old, he brought soy sauce with him, and he was holding the soy sauce like up high, like the Statue of Liberty, and that's a really iconic picture. So my hope is to make it this December.
To recreate that picture.
Yeah. When I visited my grandfather's hometown, I met Masaru, who's like my grandfather's brother. I met Masaru's son Shinchan, and he will be taking over the business and maybe like sometime in the future. And Masaru, who like now owns the business, he is more in like traditional way of thinking, where he wants to like keep the tradition going. But Shinchan, however, he started, for example, Instagram account. He built a website or got some help with the website. So he's trying to like branch out a little bit, because currently the Yotsuya Shoyu, it's a really small family business, but they want to like expand it a little more. And also knowing that my grandfather, when he visited New York City, it was really impactful for them too, because knowing that their tiny and their soy sauce bottle that was created in a tiny factory made it to New York City and made it to the Statue of Liberty. So looking back, that made me think of myself too, that for me, I grew up in Japan, grew up Tokyo for most of my life, but also I get to, with all the opportunities and conditions worked out, and I'm here in the United States studying journalism. And journalism is the one that can do storytelling, which I think has a lot of value. And I'm still searching of what kind of journalism I want to do, or if I want to do news or production. But something that I know is of my passion of storytelling, spotlighting things that I see value in that should be shared. And for example, I think this soy sauce story is, even though it's a family story, but I think it has a significance in keeping those traditions and also try to live in this modern society today and how to survive in that. Also another discussion will be if I'm gonna be in Japan or US as a career in the future. But one thing I know is I want to keep those ties and relationship with Japan wherever I go. And so I cannot say that I'll be going back to Japan or I'll be staying in US. I see myself still wandering around those two places. My story continues, but I think this summer was a great opportunity to look back on where I'm coming from, but also with a lens of more broader perspective by living in US, meeting people from different cultures.